All right, guys. Got Coach Cross here. Fire away.
Okay, talking to some of the guys in your group, defensive line, they talk about your passion, your energy, that they have no choice but to play and practice up to a certain standard because you're always on them. How important is it to you to kind of go into practice and maintain a certain standard, especially if it's one of those days where maybe they're not up to where they are on other days?
Well, I think, keeping our standard is something that we talk about all the time. As far as the passion and the energy piece of it, I think you have to really embrace what it is that you're doing, Sometimes we take for granted that, that we're able to play ball or do something that we love, and we take for granted how many other people would love to be doing what we're doing. There's nothing more exciting to me than, being out on the grass or being on the turf or the synthetic grass, whatever the many names that it has, but being out there with your guys and interacting with people and getting them going and building those relationships, I don't think there's anything like it in the world.
From a personal standpoint, can you just talk about what you have right now? I know you're missing a couple key players that could play a role in the fall. What do you like about the guys you have right now, and kind of individually, some guys that stood out and are going to be important players this year?
I think what I like most about it is that they're 100% behind each other. Right now, Aaron Crawford had a great spring. Jalil Taylor really improved. All those guys made strides to get better. As far as some of the guys that aren't there, and just like I told them, you can't worry about who isn't there until they get there. They had a great time of learning what was going on with the new scheme and learning personalities and learning different fundamentals. So they're growing and they're coming.
How does it affect you knowing what you're going to be dealing with in August, not having had Jason Stourbridge at practice, and Cater, I guess, is still on the men and will be for a while. So you haven't had that full complement of guys that probably will help you when they're healthy.
What you have to do is focus on what you have at the moment, because you don't want to have a group of guys saying like, "Hey, I love you, but I can't wait till this happens." You can't do that, I used to drive a '79 Bronco, and then people would drive by in Expeditions and all that, and I'd be like, man, that sure be nice to have that one. And then I'd get back in my '79 Bronco with the windows wouldn't roll down and no air conditioning, and be like, this is what I got, so guess what? I'm gonna keep it clean, it's gonna be the best Bronco you've ever seen, and it's mine. And if it's mine, I'm gonna love it and take care of it.
What do you like about this defense as a whole and what Jay Bateman has brought in terms of the scheme and the overall mindset and approach?
Well, because I was in Air Force and he was Army, I don't like anything about him whatsoever. But no, it's he has a brilliant mind. It's active. It gives you multiple looks. It gives a lot of different guys the ability to make plays, and it's aggressive and physical.
What are the benefits to having like the multiple fronts with 3 versus 4, 3-4 versus 4-3, and how does that kind of affect your coaching and how you deal with personnel?
Well, I think you find out what each guy does best and put him in that position. As far as the issues it gives offenses, obviously there's so many different things. Like, it's an offensive world, so they can run downfield and throw the ball. They can do all kinds of stuff. So as many things as we can give them to think about, I think it helps us. It benefits us.
How does that affect your coaching when you have switching out? Because we've seen a 4-3 here for a while. How does it kind of affect the 3-4, 4-3 coaching that?
It doesn't, because what it is there's only so many techniques and alignments that you have. So guys, like for instance, guys say 1, 3, 5, 7, 0, 2, 4. To me, it's either your inside shade and outside shade or your head up. It just depends how many guys are on the other side of it.
And the guys on the other side, that's going to fluctuate constantly throughout the game. From what we've been able to gather talking to the guys this spring is that communication is paramount. And from one snap, Tamon Fox might be at a defensive end, might be lined up as an outside linebacker. With the guys in the middle, how does that affect them, knowing who is beside them, how often they're there, and all the different calls that are being made with their, affecting their responsibilities in those gaps?
Just like you said, communication. And whatever call is signaled in, everybody echoes it. If there's some kind of a check, you'll see them tap their leg like, I got it. And it's also, the guys in the middle, can sometimes be the forgotten men when it comes to the talk. But what they have to do is one guy hears it and he echoes it down the line. So that's a huge thing as far as being prepared. Each snap is communicate with each other.
Tim, what have you seen with Mac Brown in terms of how he's grown as a coach, evolved with the times versus when you knew him at Texas a number of years ago?
You know what? He was awesome then. And he's awesomer now. You know what I mean? I think one thing that people don't realize is he has an energy for like recruiting and personnel that being away for 5 years hasn't changed. And what I think he's been able to do is go out and take 5 years and study all the different teams and all the different leaders and all the different, methods that guys use, collect it, take what he wants, and then implement it here. And the one thing that hasn't changed is that he cares about people. He's honest. His integrity is without question, and the reason I came back was because of that.
You stole my question. I was going to ask you, why did you choose to come to Chapel Hill?
He's the main reason, and I was in a great place with a great coach, but and I've told people before that he gave me my first opportunity in college coaching. So when he came back, knowing the kind of man he is, it was a no-brainer for him.
Tim, you've become I don't know if this is the right word, but somewhat of a viral figure on campus from your speech earlier this year.
That sounds good or not, right?
Your speech went viral and maybe become well-known figure on campus. That's a better term. But what did you think about the way that took off when you were in the meeting room with the players and you had that speech and then it just kind of took off from there? What did you think about that?
I mean, it's wonderful that people are excited. I didn't know it was being filmed. I said the other day, they were like, well, after it was over, like the next day, they're like, hey, we filmed that meeting. We're going to put it on Twitter. How do you feel about it? I was like, well, we already did it, so it doesn't matter really, so I guess it's great, But whatever can help this program, whatever can help those players, whatever, it's great, but it's not me. It's like the passion you've seen wasn't me trying to, it was just, that's how I feel about this Coach Brown, that's how I feel about this staff, that's how I feel about this place, and the best way to do it is show who you are up front and let people make their, make their judgments about it from there. It's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful opportunity. So why wouldn't I be happy about it? Why wouldn't I be passionate about it? And to let those guys know that, I'm here right now. Whatever's happened before is irrelevant to me. Like, I'm all in. I'm jumping in with both feet. I'm not trying to see what's going on or feeling my way out. My heart's open. Here I am. Let's go.
A lot of guys that were defensive ends in the previous staff are now listed as linebackers. Tamon Fox, Chris Collins, Jake Lawler, even like Alan Cater, which I didn't even know until we hit it now. What's that split between rush in and outside linebacker? How's that kind of work, and what can you kind of tell us about those players and their role in this defense?
Top secret. Can't tell you anything at all.
What's that?
It's top secret. I can't tell you anything at all. No, it's just fluid. Those guys are long, athletic guys that have versatility. So you want to put them in the best possible spots where they can be effective. So depending on what we're doing, a lot of those things will change from play to play or from day to day. So I can't really give you a split on, they're still got to get off blocks. They still got to rush the passer. The game is still the game, basically. I hope does that make sense to you?
It helps.
Time for one more. You mentioned Aaron Crawford. Just kind of what has impressed you?
He is a big, physical guy that has a very, very hot motor, getting to the ball. But even more impressive, He's a graduate, and his football IQ is really off the chart. It's unbelievable what he knows instinctively, what he wants to know scheme-wise, and how he's able to implement it from play to play. He's an impressive young man.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you, sir.